I literally forgot to do the thing. I forgot to do this. But you know what? We're not going to. We are not going to. Today, we are getting into stuff. Back at it. And we've got a new name. It's no longer going to be known as the Daily Show. Today, I just changed it to JaredCast IRL. Took one from Tim Pool. Yes, the haters. Hang on, let me just. Have not done this in a while, so things might be. There we go. So things might be a little awkward because guess what? I've been working. I actually have a job. So to all these ears out there, you thought you got on my nerves, didn't you? I was actually working at an actual job. So good try. I know you thought you finally accomplished something. You thought you were able to get me offline. You didn't. Just wanted that message for all of you. Because I know there's going to be people who watch this later. But that's not what we're here for today. Because today, we got some stuff to talk about. Let's see. So, if you haven't heard Dr. DisRespect, so why don't we just, why don't we get Dr. DisRespect himself? Just checking some. Just checking stuff out. But let's actually get to this. So, Dr. DisRespect. So, if you didn't know, Hassan decided to go after Dr. DisRespect with this whole NICKMERCS thing and said that he spends more time he's more loyal to NICKMERCS than he is to his wife. If you don't know, there was a couple of years ago, Dr. DisRespect had to take a break because he didn't feel like he was spending enough time with his wife, and his kid, which good man. They're still together after like 15 years. What a good man.
Like, who's this fat phony? Hassan? Hassan?
Let's get it, baby.
This fat phony? He's so concerned about everything. He's concerned about the 2-time and what it's like. These people, man. This guy wouldn't. Anyways, you just don't worry about anything, right?
Maybe
199 from the snake.
Except yourself.
Welcome.
What's close to you and what matters to you, right? By the way, that guy's. You talk about a phony. Holy shit. A fat phony. see, he wouldn't. See, that's the thing too. Like, he wouldn't say these type of things if we're standing next to each other.
No.
You know, he wouldn't.
I think we're clear.
Because he knows there's repercussions, right?
I'm going to guess is actually responding to last week. If you guys don't remember, Dr. DisRespect spoke up in defense of NICKMERCS over that gigantic drama. And in response, Hassen called out Doc and also called him out for cheating on his wife years ago. So clearly Doc was going to respond to those kind of comments. This is probably going to be quite the back and forth.
Oh, is. And you know what? Good on him. And we're going to actually go and see. Here's NICKMERCS response to this.
And, I think up until that week, Hassen and I were pretty cool. And I know he's not going to lose any sleep over our relationship or anything, man. I'm not either. But after hearing him say what he said about Doc, that motherfucker's dead to me. I DM'd him as soon as I heard it. And I said, you know what? Have your opinions. We can agree to disagree. You can say the things that you want to say, of course. But you're going to go up there and say that shit about Doc on his fucking his anniversary, right? It's a guy's anniversary. And you're saying shit like that in front of all those people? You're just going to let that rip? All right. I mean, fuck. I mean, listen, I'm not, I'm not fucking showing up.
So, and there's a lot actually. Let's actually go and see. There's a couple more. There's a yellow flash video. Dudes in the chat, if you want us to watch this yellow flash video and want me to react to it, comment yes in the chat. Because your boy Yellow Flash, we all like Yellow Flash. W's in the chat for Yellow Flash. So, and then there's this stuff.
Well, we don't hear much about those Call of Duty sales anymore. Probably because if you go over to Steam and you check the top sellers, the game.
And I have Steam actually. I mean, I'm sure you guys have Steam. So
is quickly falling down the charts.
Look at this.
The DLC itself, we're way down the charts now. It's down there under Rust and pre-orders for Forza Horizon 5, which is that's last year's game.
Be right back,
so
guys.
Forza, whatever the new Forza Racer is, that
this.
one's coming out this year. That's what I thought that was. Now there's two versions of Forza. There's the straight up simulator, and then there's the arcadey open world one. That's what that is. But Black sells right under that. Doesn't leave me too confident in how many people are actually buying that game now. So it looks like the DLC for Call of Duty came and went. No one's talking about it anymore. But what people are talking about is the backlash that the company is still receiving. This kind of strikes me as desperate right here, to be honest. I want to show this to you guys. So Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 reportedly adding surprise for fans of original Modern Warfare 2. You know what that is? They're adding sound effects from the original game and music from the original game to try to bring back nostalgia. I'm sorry, but this kind of reeks of desperation to me. It's called the Throwback Audio Pack 2 Bundle. Changes all of the game music to Modern Warfare 2 OGs. Here's some of that music and some of the gunshots. So that's where we're at with this. So you gotta. Oh, is that the mute? It sounds like menu music. Is that all you get? So you get the lobby. that lobby music is burned into my brain from all of the arguments and people screaming at each other. Oh, those lobbies are crazy, isn't it? How far have we fallen from what Call of Duty was to the steaming pile of shit it is now? It's wild stuff. So going back to the original. We got to go back to nostalgia to try to get anybody to talk about this game again. Game's falling off the charts.
Back.
Some new game called Battle Bit Remastered is the top game. It's got like old school graphics. I'm actually kind of interested in this. I might pick this up for $15. It's kind of a deal. This is 254 people.
Wow.
Maps. That sounds like
Call
fun.
of Duty.
I might check this out. It's only $15. Unless it's a battle royale, I'm not interested in battle royale. Is this just like a low poly Battlefield? If that's the case,
I'm gonna pause
yeah,
this
I'd be interested in this.
for a minute. Stop sharing. Let's get the pizza cam. Got some pizza. This is from a restaurant actually called Di Lorenzo's. If you're ever in New Jersey, go to this. My dad worked at one of these when he was my age. This pizza is amazing. Garlic knot.
I'm not interested in battle royales at all. The next bit of news is
Honestly, Balbit reminded me of this game Ravenfield I've been playing a lot. It's in early alpha, and early alpha set to release soon.
which I found really funny, is Dr. DisRespect hit back at Hassan Piker. You know, the extreme socialist who drives a Porsche and lives in a mansion. He lives in the he lives in the people's mansion and he drives the people's Porsche. He's a really good example of how those policies work.
Actually, this reminded me, people's Porsche. So Volkswagen means people's car, and if you know the history of Volkswagen, they were a company in Nazi Germany. So yeah, there's that.
Because you've got the people at the top that live lavish lifestyles, but everybody else is broke and poor and has to eat in bread lines. So Dr. DisRespect hit back because the guy talked massive shit about him. Because of course he's going to weigh into this because he likes the policies that groom children. And he started trashing him, saying, "Oh, he's more loyal to Nick than his wife." Dr. DisRespect responds, calls him a fat phony. Let's listen to this. Let's listen to what the man has to say. A much more successful man, by the way, who has talent and not a rich uncle that's propped up by the left, Young Turks guy. Let's listen to what he had to say here.
Everyone's so concerned and worried about everything else. Just worry about yourself and what's close to you.
Exactly.
Right? Everyone is so concerned about everyone else and everything else. Why? Just focus
Behind us
on
was
you
actually here earlier.
and what matters to you and what's close to
The
you.
boy was behind.
Trust me, that will instill
Let's
confidence
take this.
because you don't have all this fog and all this concern, right? Because that just brings negative energy, man. It really is. Like who's this fat phony? Hassan? Hassan?
Let's get it, baby.
This fat phony. He's so concerned about everything. He's concerned about the 2-time and what it's like. These people, man. This guy wouldn't. Anyways, you just don't worry about anything, right?
I think it may be a little one of those right there.
Except yourself and what's close to you and what matters to you, right? By the way, that guy's You talk about a phony. Holy shit. A fat phony. See, he wouldn't. See, that's the thing too. Like, he wouldn't say these type of things if we're standing next to each other. You know, he wouldn't.
I think we're clear.
Because he knows there's repercussions.
Mm-hmm.
He's absolutely right, by the way. If you put them in a room together, I bet you it's on just internet jokes. It's just jokes, man. I didn't really mean any.
It's just a prank, bro. It's just a prank, bro. Yeah, Hassan's a little biatch. And I bet a lot of the trolls actually, and a lot of the haters that come and comment on my videos, telling me I'm the one who needs to wake up. Bet they watch Hassan. I know one of them actually watches the Young Turks because I checked his channel list and Young Turks was there. Imagine being a fan of the Young Turks in 2023. You must be really pathetic.
Anything that I was saying is just a joke, bro. It's just a joke. And then he would call on his bodyguard, which I promise you he has. I promise you Hassan Piker has security that's always around him because he's got the money to afford it. He can afford a bodyguard to come watch over his giant self. Say that. That's what I always find funny about these people that always push like gun control. They're always people that are surrounded by security. Don't take away your protection. But we can afford to have 24/7 security follow us around that are armed 9 times out of 10. That's why they're all phonies. Exactly what he was saying, phonies. But Piker is one of the biggest phonies for sure. So it was fun to see him call him out. I wonder what his response will be as this Call of Duty drama continues. The Call of Duty drama continues to heat up.
And I see it in let me see if there's some. I have something to show. First. So, I'm not sure what I haven't seen.
Donald Trump is transparently political. He's literally Joe Biden's main political opponent. He's polling over 60% among Republican voters right now. So Joe Biden is doing what no president has ever dared to do. He's using law enforcement to lock up his chief rival. That's happening right now. Anyone who denies it's happening is lying to you.
That is great. Hang on.
Interesting update to the Call of Duty hullabaloo boycott. Perhaps this may be the last we hear of it. I'm sure El San will have something to say, but today we hear of it. I'm sure El San will. Perhaps this may be the last we hear of NICKMERCS. Sure, El San will have something to say, but today NICKMERCS returned to streaming after about a week off. I made sure I caught any opening statements he had, and it was good to see that he essentially did not apologize, stood by the things that he said, but also didn't blow it out of proportion. He said 8 words. He didn't go out and speak on anything. He can reaffirm that he's not anti-LGBTQ, this type of stuff, and I think he handled it really well. The one person who's not handling well, who's getting handed quite a few L's, but that's normal, is Hassan Piker. He is the Nepo baby nephew of Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks, a man that
I think he actually is the nephew. That makes it even funnier.
Audience of 12-year-olds who think socialism is the key because none of them actually want to work and earn anything and are looking for every possible reason to excuse to be to why they don't have everything they need. Meanwhile, Hassan, socialism is the best. You just haven't tried real socialism yet. Buys multi-million-dollar mansions and Porsches and things like that.
And what does he do? There are actually people in the fellowship who stream about have real jobs. Tim from Open Airlock Policy, shout to him. I've been actually trying to get him on as a guest. Talk Star Wars politics. He has a real job. Eric July also has a really important job. I mean, he's the CEO of a comic book company, Eric July. Shout out to ISOM 2. They thought that it was going to be just something, they thought ISOM 1 was just a one-time thing. It was just a fluke. Nope.
That nobody really sees anything wrong with it. They just react with, well, socialism is when you can't have multi-million-dollar house. So this is the level of intellect that we're dealing with. He took a really cringe shot at Dr. DisRespect on his anniversary, bringing up some unpleasantness that happened between him and his wife. That, of course, Hassan is not a part of that marriage. And NICKMERCS absolutely torched him today.
Hassan is, all right, flip this out. Hassan is he's jealous. Man, probably not seen his dick in years. Last time he I think that's where we ended at. Excuse me.
Dr. DisRespect had something to say, and I'm here for it all because these guys are obviously have much bigger platforms than me. By the way, I've mentioned everybody, blueberry cobbler is the most popular flavor of coffee that Coffee Brand Coffee sells. And today we are rolling out our very first flavor pre-order. We've always had our medium roast and our dark roast available in K-Cups, but now we have our blueberry cobbler. It's by far our best-selling product. I'm going to leave a link in the description, probably to all of our K-Cups, but blueberry cobbler is brand new, and I know people definitely want to pick that up today. So let me roll back to El San talking about Dr. DisRespect's. We'll see.
He is more loyal to NICKMERCS having his skin than his own wife. I know.
so he's bringing up, look, I don't want to look.
He's bringing up
Every
his
marriage
personal.
can be complicated. Things happen, but
Why
that's
you-
what that's.
Why is Hassan? There's a reason why you get rude for stuff like that, Hassan. You bring in people's families into this, and people are going to feel more threatened. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna. Like, I know you, Harris. You tried again. You're trying. Why not? You bring my family into this. That's how I got angry. I'm giving you advice. Do not do that, or else I will block you if you bring up my family. Or perhaps your family will be fair game. So, word of advice. Let's not bring up each other's family anymore. Well, let's, going forward, have civil discussions. You know, bring you on my elbow. All right, here.
That's the level of, on Dr. Disrespect's anniversary, he has to comment on another dude's marriage, which is supreme beta energy. It's as bad as as it gets, really. Like, look, I think Hassan can make all the money he wants. I don't care that he makes money. I think it's hilarious the things that he preaches versus the money he makes, but it's really none of my business how much cash he makes. It's also none of my business who he dates or comment. It's weird. And so Doc had this to say.
Like who's this fat phony? Hassan? Hassan?
Let's get it, baby.
This fat phony? He's so concerned about everything. He's concerned about the 2-time and what it's like. These people, man. This guy wouldn't let. See, he wouldn't. See, that's the thing too. Like, he wouldn't say these type of things if we're standing next to each other.
That's fact.
He wouldn't,
I think we're clear.
because he knows there's repercussions.
And we all saw how El San reacted to like that little 15-year-old kid or whatever that was trolling him. He looked terrified. I
did not
had
hear
a
about
complete
this.
baby meltdown when somebody made fun of him at TwitchCon or YouTubeCon or whatever it was that he was at. He's a huge coward. He says a lot of this stuff, and I think a lot of people in the comments bringing up invoking Sam Hyde, things like that. Hassan is a good litmus test. If you don't dislike him, you're a questionable person at best. Even creators don't like El San. The doc would absolutely destroy Hassan. I think, like, again, like, you're talking about another man's marriage. That's a little personal. It's a little cringe. It's the left doesn't really have any moral standards or rules. And this is NICKMERCS responding to it as well today. I thought this was these guys are all being good bros. Him, Tim the Tapman, Doc. And this is now, he does, NICKMERCS has kind of a potty mouth, so he does have some curse words in here. I do apologize, but this is the clip from his return today.
And, I think up until that week, Hassan and I were pretty cool. And I know he's not going to lose any sleep over our relationship or anything, man. I'm not either. But after hearing him say what he said about Doc, that motherfucker's dead to me. I DM'd him as soon as I heard it. And I said, you know what? Have your opinions. We can agree to disagree. You can say the things that you want to say, of course. But you're going to go up there and say that shit about Doc on his fucking his anniversary, right? It's a guy's anniversary. And you're saying shit like that in front of all those people? You're just going to let that rip? All right. I mean, fuck. Listen, I'm not, I'm not fucking showing up.
But this is what El San does. This is the type of stuff that, his 12-year-old fans think is great. They don't understand any nuance. Relationships can be complicated. Look, I'm not excusing infidelity, but holy crap, how many years ago was this? And Doc like literally cried and apologized in a video on the internet, which he didn't owe anybody either. And
I'm not familiar with that, but the fact that he did that makes me love him so much.
and I think it's pretty rich coming from Hassan. And the whole thing you see here, Phase star NICKMERCS was heavily criticized on social media for saying they should leave little children alone, to a tweet showing protests over Pride Month being recognized in a school. This resulted in Call of Duty removing his bundle. We all know this. Hassan reacted to the decision on stream by and criticized by saying he's more loyal to NICKMERCS having a skin than his own wife. Dr. DisRespect and his fans did not appreciate Hassan digging up the 2 times past in such a manner, and he addressed a comment in his own live stream. Just worry about yourself and what's close to you in regards to comments Hassan made. I think that's very realistic. Doc spitting straight facts, one viewer wrote, while another comment displayed a similar sentiment. Hassan and his viewers are so cringe. Others sided with Hassan, questioning things. I think when you're talking about I think when you're talking about someone's personal relationship, especially when their significant other is not a public figure, I think it's pretty low. I mean,
oh, I have a special someone. Louie, come here, Louie. He was walking in the room. No, I do. No, I'm still live. Yeah. But I think that's clear enough. Seen this video too long. We got some camera action. Louis, come back. I'm sure that. Come here. Say hi, Louis. This is my dog. All right, you can go. All right, cool. All right. He's still here. I'm still gonna pet him. Oh, are you okay? Little dog action there, you guys. You might see him actually a little more, but I think we actually have to get into something else, something really important. The Orange Man, and this is actually coming from Laura Loomer. So, Trump says no to Jared and Ivanka serving in a second administration. And actually, there was another video. Oh, wow. Are you kidding me, Joey? Hang on. Let me get this up. So Trump is unstoppable and DeSantis is crumbling. I'll just say that. The cases against Trump from Georgia, it doesn't look like they're going to indict, which was kind of actually disappointing. You know what? Democrats continue to indict Trump. Continue to. See what happens. You know, see what happens when you indict Trump, the most popular president in American history. Just think what's going to happen. Unbelievable. Hang on. I'll have to get this sorted out, but let's actually play this clip. This is an interview Trump did with someone who I don't like, Brett Baer, but let's actually see this. This is a little clip we're going to react to.
Yeah, you want to go through this all again. Because I want to make America great again. We had it great. We had it great. We were respected all over the world. Very simple. I want to make America great again.
That is and this is MAGA War Room. President Trump is willing to go through everything the deep state throws at him because he wants to make America great again. Let's see, there's actually some. And then we got this. Apparently, this was from last week. Apparently, last week also. And so this comes to us from the Gateway Pundit. Let's get this article up and read it. So, fair and cartoon are response to criticism after leftist meltdown for making Trump look too good. I just draw what I see. So, if you're wondering, so in every courtroom, there's a drawing them because a lot of times you're not allowed to take photos in the courtroom for reasons. I mean, in the Supreme Court, there's only been like 2 actual photos of the Supreme Court in session. So when the courtroom's in session, you're not allowed to. I think even when the Supreme Court's not in session, you're not allowed to. But the former President Donald Trump's recent trial saw an unexpected protagonist amidst its proceedings. Veteran sketch artist William J. Hensley Jr., known for his expertise in courtroom sketches, so it's Hannessy. Oh, it's Hannessy. Hannessy's illustration of Trump calls the left is to have a meltdown As soon as Hannessy's sketches were made public, social media users began dissecting and critiquing them. It's so ridiculous. Like, it's just a sketch. It's just a sketch. Guys, come on. As soon as Hannessy's sketches were made public, social media users began, IRL, that Twitter users lambasted Hannessy for his perceived bias in Trump's favor. Some accused Hannessy of romanticizing Trump's appearance, while others questioned whether the artist was referencing dated photographs of the former president. So clearly, William J. Hannessy Jr. thinks Trump is young and thin, one user wrote. Oh my God. Another user wrote, to be honest, it's not that wildly inaccurate. It just looks like the sketch artist Bill Hannessy was going off a photo from Trump from 4 years ago. So another compared his work to another artist. I like Jane Rosenberg's sketch from Trump's NY arrangement better. Lower sketches from Hannessy, I still can't pronounce, Hannessy Jr. Courtroom sketch by William Hannessy Jr. of Donald Trump's appearance in federal court today. Oh, man. Oh, so Jim Acosta, he just wrote Trump in federal court today via sketch artist Bill Hannessy. You know, I'm surprised Jim Acosta, someone who also has a severe case of TDS. I mean, Trump broke him and many other of the liberal establishment warmongering reporters back in 2016. He's going to do it again 2024. Although I do think that 2016 will be still the superior because no one expected that to happen. Perhaps 2024, the meltdown will be more insane if they think Trump's not going to win. Like if they think they've got it. Interview with the Boston Globe, Hannessy defenders were saying, I just draw what I see. The seasoned artist maintained his stance, asserting that his intention was to present an accurate depiction of the courtroom scene, not to flatter or offend any individual. He probably doesn't like Trump. He probably doesn't hate Trump. He probably doesn't have that much of an opinion on Trump, this guy, if I'm going to be honest. He probably just is doing what he's doing. The outlet it's rare I get any kind of feedback, as he's had in a phone interview. The artist said he received mixed reviews about 50-50. He said his sketches of Trump, some good, some bad. Some said he looked too thin, too young, and some said he looked too good. As he said, knowing that the negative feedback seemed to come from people who didn't care much for Trump. He said he wasn't trying to make Trump look any better than he does. His goal is to capture the scenes in the courtroom like a camera would. I don't editorialize, he said. I just draw what I see. Hannessy said cameras and phones weren't allowed inside the courtroom building at all, which made it a bit of a challenge to communicate with the outside world. It was a pretty stressful day. A long day, he said. Yeah. So that's something about courtrooms is a lot of times they don't allow cameras in the truck. Well, it's really rare that they definitely do at some points. But I know that there's a lot of trials that the initial stages they don't allow the photos. Some like this is a federal court. In a federal court, it's way more strict than a district court. They will not allow. I mean, like the Supreme Court, which is a federal court, they do not allow cameras in. You can look it up. Actually, the only time there's a photo from here, let me actually pull up. Really? Very rare. And if you're not going to, because there's going to be those people who are going to critique me later. So these are the only two foes of the Supreme Court in session. And this is PETA Pixel. I don't know. Seems like a photography website. So they're not really in. So this is. So I thought it was 1934. I might have said that. It was 2 years before. So do you know that there are only two known photos in existence that show the U.S. Supreme Court in session? Cameras have long been banned inside the courtroom. So the only two photos were captured many decades ago by people who snuck cameras in. I'm not sure how they did that. It must have been a camera without a flash lens. And the cameras back then were pretty big. I mean, it would probably be easier to sneak an iPhone or probably actually more of a flip phone, because you could actually take photos with flip phones back when they were, but they've been mainly discontinued. So the first photo above show, and you can go read this. Then there's actually this video where I think that's Ginsburg, actually. So they were officially banned in 1946, but I think there was a rule before. And this is one of the photos. This. Yeah. And that applies to a lot of the lower federal courts. They're pretty strict about it, as you saw from that Gateway Pundit article. I just wanted to show, because there's going to be people who are going to try and contradict me just to get talking points, or just to try and make me look stupid. I ain't falling for it. There's more actually on Trump. Hold up. Where did I got it? There's more actually new concerning Trump. So he did say that his and there's clips. So Trump apparently tore apart Brett Baer in this. Let me see this.
That legal battle.
Because Brett Baer has a case of TDS as well. We live in the year 2023. 3, where Megyn Kelly is way more pro-Trump than Brett Baer. I mean, I don't think Brett Baer has ever been pro-Trump, but if you remember Megyn Kelly back in the day, I mean, she moved to NBC.
So I just want to ask you a couple of specifics. Why did you have this very sensitive national security defense documents, like the war plans for a strike on Iran? So, like every other president.
So those plans, the war plans were a strike. Or it could be about a different thing, because I know one of the things I kept was a invasion plan for another country. Maybe it was Iran. I guess he just wanted to take that to laugh at how stupid Millie was for thinking an invasion of Iran could go well.
I take things out. And in my case, I took it out pretty much in a hurry, but people packed it up and we left. And I had clothing in there. I had all sorts of personal items in there, much stuff. And by the way, when Bill Barr, who's, a coward, Bill Barr was a coward. Bill Barr didn't do what he was supposed to do. I fired him, and he has great hatred, and that's okay, because some people do. And some people love me very much. He didn't resign. I asked him, give me a letter immediately, because he didn't have the courage to go after so many different things, and you and I have discussed it before. But he was a coward, and he obviously doesn't like me too much, and there are a lot of people.
Yeah, don't expect to see Bill Barr back in anywhere near a second Trump administration.
People that don't, and there are a lot of people that feel just the opposite.
But on specific on the
let me
documents.
just explain.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of things in there. I will go through those boxes. I have to go through those boxes. I take out personal things. As far as the levels and all, everything was declassified because I had the right to declassify. You want to talk about a mess? Take a look at Biden, where he's got 1,850 boxes. He has boxes stored in Chinatown in D.C. He has boxes stored at Penn Center, and he has boxes under his Corvette and around his Corvette sitting in a garage for years where it was very seriously classified. I have every right to have those boxes. This is purely a Presidential Records Act. This is not a criminal thing. In fact, the New York Times of all had a story just the other day that the only way NARA could ever get this stuff, this back, would be please, could we have it back?
And they
please,
asked for that.
Because they have no.
They did ask for it.
No, and
they said,
I gave
"Can you
them
give the
some,
documents back?"
And we were talking.
And then they said they went to DOJ to subpoena you to get them
which
back.
they've never done before.
Right.
And in
But
all
why not
fairness,
just hand them over then?
because I had boxes. I want to go through the boxes and get all my personal things out. I don't want to hand that over to NARA yet. And I was very busy, as you've sort of seen.
Yeah, but
I've been
according to
very,
the
very
indictment,
busy.
you then
That's
tell
a
this aide.
That is good response. He probably has said he had boxes, probably lots of personal stuff in there. You like, oh, you're giving into the excuses. Why don't you go through boxes filled with your personal information, a lot of your personal information. See how long it takes you to sort out. And I'll give you a week deadline. I'm going to do that, and you probably won't be done. Probably because you'll also be, especially if do have another job, you've got that to be concerned. I mean,
to move to other locations after telling your lawyers to say you'd fully complied with the subpoena when you hadn't.
But before I send boxes over, I have to take all of my things out. These boxes were interspersed with all sorts of things, golf shirts, clothing, pants, shoes. There were many things. I would say much more, not that I know of, but everything was declassified. And Biden didn't have the right to do that because he wasn't president. Nor did Mike Pence, by the way, have the right to do that because he wasn't president.
Right, I'm not going to belabor this.
No, but
when
you look at
want to
this,
just get to the
other
specifics.
presidents, when they leave, they take the papers.
Mhm.
They have thousands and thousands.
anyone trying to defend Biden taking classified documents you don't know what you're talking about. Biden was a vice president at the time. He wasn't allowed to take. The only person who should have been taking documents from that administration was Obama. So when Biden leaves, and he's going to leave one way or either he's going to, God forbid, gets really sick and die. I mean, he's not in the best shape, but it's either that he gets impeached, or he's going out on January 20th, 2025.
Since Obama had it, Nixon had it, Carter had
Their
it, the
argument
Bushes
is that
had
these
it.
are super sensitive national security documents.
I'm
All right, so here's,
sure you'll
this
see
is-
real super sensitive that Biden has, because
This is-
Biden has far more than anybody's ever kept.
and he turned them over when asked.
No, he
but-
didn't.
but
He
that's
still
what he
hasn't given
says.
the 1,850 boxes that's stored at the University of Delaware. In fact, they're fighting them in court, and they're fighting them. And
But he
the
opened
boxes,
up for them to look at.
excuse me, the boxes from Chinatown, he didn't turn them over. He sent them up to his lawyer in Boston to look at before they handed them over.
And there are special counsel that's looking at that, and we'll see what comes out of
Well,
it. But I
you can
do want to
imagine-
just
you can
end with
imagine
this. I don't
what's
want to
gonna
dwell on it.
This is why they didn't like, because the Obamas were pre-BS president. Obama was a pre-BS. I mean, you had Michelle Obama dancing on the Ellen. Oh, Michael, I meant, with his zucchini coming out. You got Obama doing skits where he's like, "Oh, I'll go get." That's pretty. Skits to show that he's cool with the people, and
comforting.
Larry Kudlow seems to be one
That legal, Larry.
of the only ones who. I'm not sure what his stance is.
Battle aside, I just want to ask you a couple of specifics.
Hang on. Shut up, Brett Bear, please. Let Larry Kudlow speak.
And it is the thing I think that Americans find somewhat comforting.
Larry, tomorrow he's going to get more detail about his economic prescription going forward. Hence,
Right
it's
there.
tax and regulation, much like you did in the first administration. If you look at the polls, the average of polls, and some of these are even higher than this, in the GOP primary, he holds this massive lead over Governor DeSantis in second.
I'll give Brett Bear that he's not showing fake polls. He's showing the actual poll. A lot of these polls, only very few of them are showing the same. Like DeSantis is dropping a lot. DeSantis is in shambles. After this, I'm gonna show you a clip.
You're saying that the economy is a big part of it.
Yeah, this I don't disagree with Martha's emphasis on foreign policy, because under Biden it has completely fallen apart. And President Trump was right. Former President Trump.
This is important.
We don't have the respect around the world that we once did. But I think this is going to be a pocketbook election. And it's funny, you know, we had a thing on our show tonight. Mr. Biden gets an op-ed piece in the Wall Street Journal saying real incomes are rising. So we go back and look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Real incomes are falling steadily throughout his entire administration. That has always been the soft underbelly of the Biden economy. Inflation high, job wages falling. In Reagan's terms, take-home pay is going down. This is Trump's strongest suit on taxes and regulations and energy. He left the economy at 6.5% with 1.5% some odd inflation, and Biden has, murdered the economy. The reason he's ahead in the Republican polls is because he constantly talks about an economic growth agenda. Growth. None of the other candidates have done that. I'm not saying they couldn't do it. Yeah. I'm not saying they couldn't develop it. I'm not saying they don't have a case, but they have not done it. And he did it again just in this brief first half interview with you.
And you'll hear more of it tomorrow.
So apparently Trump talked about how he wants economic growth. And I know the woke thing is, but DeSantis seems to be just the anti-woke guy. Have you ever heard DeSantis say anything about the economy? I mean, I'm sure he has.
More independent voters watch Fox News than any other TV source.
A lot less than used to watch it.
Trump, man. Oh my God. that's something I'll have to get into. It has to do with apparently Dem donor to Lincoln Project and Democrat campaigns arrested for starting massive fires in California. That's a Gateway pundit. I'll get to that later. Also, apparently Chrissy Mayer had her wedding and Trump was at it. Because my God, is DeSantis collapsing. DeSantis is. Let me show you this most recent clip. I know we've gone over the hour arc, but. So if you saw over the weekend, DeSantis was in Nevada.
DeSantis did not mention his political rival, former President Donald Trump, by name on stage during his speech.
I like what DeSantis is doing in Florida, but obviously I'm wearing the hat, so it's Trump first.
And as well. I thought Ann Coulter was. Laura Loomer might just be. Oh, yo, she's calling her skinny. From stuff on. Yeah, Ann Coulter is has such a severe case of TDS. I'm trying to find the video because either she retweet or retweet a video. Got some stuff on Rupert Murdoch. Oh boy. Let's see. I need to find it because DeSantis had a pathetic rally. I mean, he got like 1,725 people. Wasn't a good. Honestly, it wasn't really that good of a rally. I'm trying to find. Laura Loomer takes place, tweets a law. Here. So, Mike G says huge crowd in Nevada table for DeSantis. They were not even for DeSantis. They were there for. So, according to Laura Loomer,
is we are both areas that receive a lot of disgruntled Californians. It's actually kind of new for us. You all have been having that for
y'all. Get out of here, DeSantis. Go yelling back in Florida. Trying to sound like a cowboy.
Many years.
They were not for DeSantis. They were there for Bass Fry, which was founded by Adam Laxalt's grandfather years ago. Laxalt's grandfather used to be governor of Nevada. Bass Fry has always been a political fundraiser for conservative causes and candidates. That's supposed to be a family-friendly event for people to eat sheep testicles. Every year it attracts a large crowd, and not because of DeSantis. But this year, Adam Laxalt hijacked it to turn an event for DeSantis and his influencers. People have been going to this festival for years for testicles, not for Ron.
Areas that receive a lot of as we are both areas that receive a lot of disgruntled Californians.
Someone needs to do a barbecue.
It's actually kind of new for us. You all have been having that for many years. I was born and raised in Florida. I don't think I ever saw a California license plate all the time I was growing up. And why would you? I mean, they got great stuff there. As we are...
That is a pathetic showing, DeSantis. You gotta be kidding. Trying to see.
Hello, Patriots. It's Steve Cortez here.
Oh, Steve Cortez. Barney Frank looked disgusting. His nipple was Trump. Oh my god. Oh my god. Steve Cortez is such a snake. Never Back Down's gonna really be. Oh my god, it's gonna be funny. And Jeremy. So I know I showed you a few answers, but if you go look through everything, you look down. Trump's really. Oh my god. So I got. And the reason I say that is because, yes, we have Vivek. Yes, we have RFK. Problem is, Trump's done a lot. Trump has done he did so much in that first term. It would feel disrespectful not to vote for him as second for all of our big, beautiful supporters and not. And RFK can just run as a third party. He could still run as Democrat in the primary and just split the vote. That's going to be amazing. And we got some.
Cannot believe, and everyone that served on the.
Yeah, and then there's also this beta, Thomas Massey, who decided to vote against a motion to censure her. So this Adam Schiff. So said Adam Nunes, Devin Nunes, and Sebastian Gorka said stuff about your boy Alex Jones. He's gotten much better, and honestly, Sebastian Gorka is he was one of the original people in the Trump White House. We need to get him back. We need Stone back, Steve Bannon, Gork. We need we're going to have a stacked Patriot administration. If Giuliani's up for it, make him the director of the FBI and just have Giuliani. He's the only Italian American I can really trust at this point.
Intel committee. And I cannot believe, and I don't mean to say anything bad about him, but why would Trump pick Devin Nunes, the guy who was in charge of all the programs that were used to spy on Trump? Why would he pick him to be the CEO of Truth Social?
I know Nunes there's some stuff about Nunes is actually really loyal to Trump. Trump is what I've heard. The former representative, I forgot what district in California. I think the reason why he's no longer representative is because that district got carved up.
Like, this is the thing I can't understand. He's the guy who rubber stamped the deep state. So I'm just got to say, I'll tie that up by saying that I do believe that Jim Jordan is one of the most honest people in Washington, D.C., and it's our first opportunity to get any real oversight over these organizations that have three letters.
Ian? Are you really saying, Congressman, that the man who got to the bottom of the Russia hoax is part of the deep state? You're saying that about Devin Nunes? I can't believe you just said that.
Sebastian, he's reauthorized every program that was used to spy on Trump. And
that's actually true. From Devin Nunes went off a lot of the times on the Russia stuff.
Multiple debates. I've been in Congress for 10 years. Multiple debates with that man where he was the guy responsible for making sure all the money flowed to all of the
you don't know what you're talking about.
Spy programs and all the three-letter organizations.
So who did more to uncover the fake Russia collusion than Devin Nunes? I mean, seriously, the guy who actually uncovered the illegal leaks, the unmaskings. There's nobody else except Devin. I can't believe you said that.
Well, maybe he's done something redeemable, but I was in the skiff with all the folks in the pre-impeachment. Remember, they put I think it was the Intel Committee and our Oversight Committee in the skiff, and I was down there with Jim Jordan, and I think it was Devin Nunes, but the other chairman was so reluctant to do anything that was basically Jim Jordan.
The same Jim Jordan hasn't said anything about the J6 prisoners for 2 years. That Jim Jordan? Come on, Brian.
Well, we had Lieutenant Colonel Vindman there, and I don't know.
Vindman? You had the biggest Ukraine show?
Maybe he's done something redeeming. They all do something redeeming every now and then. Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell all do something redeeming, but
even putting Devin in the same sentence as Mitch McConnell and Lindsey's a bad
joke.
There's one person who put his balls on the line to uncover Russian collusion, and it was Devin Nunes and Kash Patel. Come on, you know that.
Well, give him credit for that. I'll not take any of that away from him, but he called Justin Amash Al-Qaeda's best friend in Congress when Justin Amash tried to do something about the FISA programs, the 215 and the 702.
This is Tom Fitton, Congressman Massey.
Listen, thank you very much.
And please, Congressman, please come on my national show because I'd like you to back up what you said about Devin.
Okay. Yeah, sure. We'll just go, Sebastian, just go to C-SPAN and watch our debates over the last 10 years.
No.
And I'm sure
I need you to do it in front of 3 million people, but I'll reach out to your congressman.
I'm sure he's done some very good things there.
Well, I just texted him and he said he always got on with you. He doesn't understand why you just trashed him in front of 14,000 people.
No.
So
ask him if he ever called Justin Amash Al-Qaeda's best friend for simply trying to reform the FISA program.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a reason to trash him as a member of the deep state, but we'll continue this another time.
Well, he's rubber stamped all of it. Thank you very much.
Mario,
Thank
are
you,
you getting
Congressman.
ready to end this space, or are you planning on keeping it going?
No, I'm enjoying this. I'm not. gonna end it now.
For the record, can I just say, for the record, as somebody who DM'd me, who's on this call right now, we would know nothing about the Russian collusion hoax and the illegal unmasking if it weren't for Devin Nunes. So Massey is way out of line, and we'll see if he can back it up on my show. But for the record, that was way out of line.
And it would be great to get Mr. Nunes on this space if you're able to get him, Sebastian.
I'm happy to text him now. I'll text him now.
Actually, it would be perfect if he jumps in now. Thomas, Thomas, would you, Congressman, would you agree if Nunes is able to come onto the space? Would you agree to have a discussion here on the space, or is that putting you on the spot too much?
No, I think I would. I'd like to know why he called my friend Justin Amash Al Qaeda's best friend.
Oh.
Impeachment.
So apparently, crap, I just had this up. There was blackouts the other day. The gang ready for the cyber attack. No. But I do think that's a good place to end it. You know the drill. Like, share, subscribe, bell for notification, and I will see you later. Bye, everyone. And I will not forget the...
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.